What's going on, guys? Failed to listen. Welcome back to more Failed Thoughts, and in this video, we're going to talk about The Last of Us 2. Playing as Ellie. Game is all about hate. We don't really know much beyond that. It seems like you will play Ellie for all of the game, or at the very least, the majority of the game. And I, for one, just let me get this out of the way, I'm pretty excited for this. I think it's going to be cool. It should be interesting to see how they handle that. I know people have their concerns about, this girl that's maybe like 120 pounds soaking wet with a number of, different clothing on or whatever the hell. So, I mean, I get it. I understand there are concerns, but my thing is, I don't think that these games were ever truly going for a complete realistic experience. Take, for example, just off the top of my head, when we're talking about The Last of Us, the way you craft things, the fact that you can craft some of that stuff like bombs and such in a matter of seconds, just off a few materials, is not very realistic in itself. So it is not the total package. It is not the most realistic, survival game. I think it's definitely looking to be a lot more action, in my opinion, and I can't see this one being any different. I mean, if it makes you feel any better, the way I think it's going to go is, I think she is going to be beating up on some people, and some of those people are going to be dudes, and you have to look at it like, what's the separation there? 3, 4, 5 years? So she's killed a lot of people with guns. She's been forced to use her hands for a good amount of time in some of those situations. So I can suspend some of the disbelief, for a 10 to 15 hour type of experience. I'm gonna guess you're gonna get, probably on average 13, 14 hours out of a game like The Last of Us 2. So coming from someone that doesn't really consider himself, much on the side of feminist things, that I don't like labels. I really don't. I don't like SJW stuff. I don't like feminist stuff. I don't like those labels. But just to clear the air, I don't have a problem with this. If we make comparisons to a guy whose channel I like, Solid Rev, he has different reasons, right? He has a problem with this. He's kind of always had a problem with these strong female characters in games that kind of do things that, again, for a time, want you to suspend the disbelief a little bit. But I don't want people to think, or even him to think, that it wouldn't be possible for a very well-conditioned, or even for that matter, a very well-trained woman to beat your ass, especially if she had the jump on you. You know what I mean? She had the upper hand for any number of reasons. I think this idea that no woman could take a man, even a man that was considered a complete beast, or an alpha male, or whatever the case may be, by the majority of his friends and family. I don't want people to think that, because I believe that that's the case. I feel like in the right situations, yes, a woman could absolutely beat your ass. I can't really speak to Solid Rev. I don't know him personally. I seriously doubt he's ever had an encounter with a woman where he was forced to make a decision like, can I beat this woman's ass? Should I beat this woman's ass? You know what I mean? But just trying to stay with the game, I get it. When you have someone like Solid Rev, I think the idea that he has is, Joel was, you could relate to Joel from Solid Rev's standpoint, because he's a grown man, he's a father with a daughter. Joel had a daughter, he's also a man. So it makes sense that, maybe someone like Solid Rev would feel a lot less immersed in a game playing as someone like Ellie. Me, I guess just because, and Solid Rev has admittedly said many times, he didn't really get super heavy into games, super serious about games until last generation, right? I've been playing as female characters in games for a long time. Obviously, the majority of my games have been male characters. I think that's probably the deal with a lot of us. None of that really bothered me. I do think there should be more female characters in games, more great female leads. I would love, and maybe Solid Rev feels different, even though he absolutely loves the game. I would love a Witcher game, or just some sort of spin-off, one-off game with Ciri from Witcher 3. I think that would be great. But again, what immerses me, it's less about the character. I don't really care about, if this guy's a man, I'm a man, now I can relate more. That has never really played much of a factor for me, because oftentimes these characters have powers or, some type of, special forces, military type of training, any number of different things depending on the game that I've never received. So it's hard for me to relate to some of these OP beasts in these games anyway. I just can't say that I can do that, you know what I mean? Or games that I really like, the BioShock games. The guy in the original game is a male character. The guy in BioShock Infinite is a male character. I can't really relate to those guys beyond the fact that we're both male, you know what I mean? So even if those characters had been female, I still would have loved those games. BioShock and BioShock Infinite, BioShock 2, they all would have still been some of my favorite games of all time. If Red Dead Redemption, if that had been exactly the same, but John Marston was female and had a different name, I still would say that is one of my favorite games ever. It's my favorite game from last generation and possibly my favorite game of all time. What immerses me is atmosphere. Immersing me that way, is that a word? Immersing? Finding different ways to immerse me through the atmosphere or the environments, doing things artistically with the visuals, doing things from a really special, impressive standpoint with the visuals, making things a little more realistic. Things like that immerse me. Things like that impress me and bring me into the experience more. Doing, putting some nice attention to detail on the sounds and animations and things like that immerse me. Playing as a male or female character just normally does absolutely nothing for me. That's just me. I can only speak from my standpoint. I'm not shitting on Solid Rev. Again, like I said, I do enjoy his channel. I will leave a link to his channel and his thoughts on some of this in the description so you guys can go and check that out. I think a lot of you probably already know who that is anyway, but he makes good content. He's one of the few left that make good content. So while this isn't a complete response to him, just sort of giving my feelings as well, that's really it. Those are my thoughts. That's what immerses me in an experience. Like I'm trying to think of a game off the top of my head where, playing as the male character because I'm male made things so much better for me. And I can't do that. Me personally, I can't, whether it's The Last of Us or Uncharted. I can't think of one of these games that did something like that for me. So that's my video. That's my take on The Last of Us 2. I still think it's going to be a great game. If Solid Rev truly isn't going to play that game, I think he's really going to be missing out. It's going to be a good game for sure. I don't know if it can live up to the first one and, just the story that told between the two characters. I don't know, man. I mean, Naughty Dog, I feel like they almost felt pressured in a way to make this game, and they're going to feel even more pressure to try and make it better than the first one. I mean, I'm sure in their cocky, arrogant minds, because all developers that have made great games that are highly acclaimed and sell well and win awards, they get a little bit of an ego. Let's just be honest. I love Rockstar, but it's the same for them. They always want to find ways to see if they can top themselves, and I think it's going to be really hard with this one, but I don't think that can, stop it from still being an amazing game. Can it be like ultra super awesome? I don't think so, but I still think it's going to be an amazing game, and we'll have to wait and see what happens. So that's my take. That's my video. A little bit of a rant there at the end about awards and developers that are cocky. Pay no attention to that. So thank you guys very much. I appreciate it. Take care. Peace.